It's Friday, Food I Think Viewers. I'm Mariella.
And I'm Eric. You made it. You made it to Friday.
You guys did it, man. You're freaking amazing.
Oh, you guys are all amazing. I'm so proud of you.
I am. And we love you so much for listening that we just want to give you all this delicious content to make your lives easier. That's why we're here, baby, to make your life better.
Right.
We're changing your life with this podcast. That's what I think.
That's what I think too. We're like, yeah, that's exactly what we're doing.
I was going to say we're like the Dalai Lama of food podcasts, but not even the Dalai Lama is the Dalai Lama anymore.
Right. World has changed, Marty.
Fucking A, man. Anyway, yeah, so we are on our final installment of our series that we are helping you plan school lunches for your kids or even for yourself using 1-star ingredient 3 different ways. So there's no waste and there's only delicious.
This is a good one. This is a good episode.
You know, this is one of my favorite ingredients.
Yeah.
And it's the puff give, the puff pastry.
Mm-hmm.
It is so versatile. You can make it sweet. You can make it savory. You could park it in your freezer, which we all know is one of my favorite things in the world, is to have freezer ingredients at the ready. The only thing with this is you do have to thaw it out.
Yeah.
So remember that to put it in your refrigerator overnight. So when you wake up, or you can even do it the day before, really. That's the other beauty about this. You can make puff pastry things the day before.
Yeah.
And they will hold up. So puff pastry is a magic ingredient today, Keter. And I've done this for my kids before and they love it. I like to get the little cocktail wieners and I will cut strips of puff pastry, wrap it around there, and then put them in the air fryer for like 20 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, I think at 400 or 425, 20 minutes. And then they have little pigs in a blanket, which they freaking love. This is one lunch that never comes back, return to sender. Always eaten up.
I'd eat it.
Oh, and I think you can actually even freeze the whole thing. So you can make them ahead of time and then batch them and freeze them.
Yeah.
And then you can just bake them off either the night before if you want, or you could do it the morning of. I do it the morning of because I have 20 minutes to put something and not look at it. You know what I mean? Like set and forget. Right. So good. And they're like little hot dogs. Who doesn't like a little hot dog every now and then, you know?
Or a big hot dog.
Yeah. And then, yeah.
Sure.
Making me uncomfortable. I don't talk about these things with you.
Oh, okay. Nope. You've been talking about them since 7th grade. So it's no problem.
So tell me, what else can we make this with this puff give?
So I'm going to be honest with you. I don't cook a lot with puff pastry. And I do a couple of things with puff pastry, but I don't do a lot. And I'm going to be honest. Puff pastry makes me nervous.
No, why? You should.
I don't know, Mariela. I don't know. Wow,
I feel your anxiety levels rising like now.
I don't know why it does that.
But here we are.
But here we are. Exactly. So we are going to talk about something delicious. And so we all know what a turnover is. It's essentially like a puff pastry pie. And mostly when we hear turnovers, we think of like apple turnovers, cherry turnovers, same complete concept. You're going to do it the same exact way you'd make a turnover, but you're going to put like ham and cheese in there or turkey and cheese in there. Add a pickle. Oh, put sliced pickles in there too.
I just had an idea. What if we put bocadillo mix in there? Would that work?
Oh shit. I
think that shit could work.
Okay. We got a
weekend.
I got a weekend project.
You're busy. I want to try that. That must be delicious.
That sounds really good.
So it's like a mix of like 2 pastelitos, like worlds collide. Guava and cheese and like a meat, but together.
Okay, you got me on this. This is...
Oh my gosh. Yes, but you can stuff it with whatever meat you want. Even that rotisserie chicken if you have some. Some cheese. Whatever protein you have. Last night's dinner, shove it in that puppy. Fold it over and bake it. Done.
You know, you just talked about it. I wonder, do you think you could do like this type of turnover, like with ham, cheese, turkey, cheese, whatever? Think you could freeze it and bake it the night before or bake it the day of?
Yeah, absolutely. You can absolutely prep your lunch.
That's what I love about the puff pastry because you can basically prep this.
Yeah.
And then freeze it and then bake it over. I'm telling you, you make a turkey and cheese turnover for your kids, it will come back empty.
Yes.
They will eat this. This is so good.
And puff pastry is fun to eat because it gets messy and kids are gross. They love that stuff.
Yeah, they do. They come home all freaking messy. And my nephews used to come home like, they always have like that orangey stain on the ring of their shirt. It's like, where the fuck did you get orangey type of drink?
Schmutz.
You didn't leave with it, but you came back with it?
Yeah, they're disgusting. God bless them. They're disgusting.
Yeah, they're freaking gross, but whatever. So I love this one. Oh, Mari. So again, I talk about turkey because I'm not a big ham person, but ham and cheese is fine. But so let's say you do ham, cheese, and like you put like a little pickle in there.
Yum.
And okay, now I'm like adulting it a little bit because you put like some Dijon mustard in there too.
I love that.
And let it bake up. I mean, don't get me wrong, as a kid, I actually loved Dijon mustard, even as a kid.
Yeah.
But you let that bake up, and so now I got like the Dijon mustard, that pickle, that Mariela.
So good.
What about like, Mariela, you talked about bocadito and a turnover. What about like the ingredients of like a medianoche? And
bam.
Shit.
Fucking delicious.
Should we talk about medianoches in one?
We did already. We talked about it in our Cuban series.
We did.
I'll try to remember to link it here. So
you can put all of that in a puff pastry. Guys, you can go crazy with puff pastry.
I told you, you're not listening to me. You scared of it. I don't know why. It's easy.
Oh my God. You know what though? I might make bocadito turnovers. You know what? Ryan's parents are in town this weekend.
Do it.
So I think I might serve it as like
I'm
gonna make appetizer shit with it. Mariela, you got this.
Girl.
Now, let me ask you a question. Do you think instead of making a turnover, let me ask if you can make it something a little easier. Do you think you can actually take one layer of puff pastry, put it on a baking pan, put your filling, put the other puff pastry on top, and score it into squares,
like a
and then bake it off, right? And then bake it off, and then you have multiples, right there all at once.
Delicious. Do
that Dijon mustard, guys. It sounds good.
Well, talking about this mustard, right? So the final idea I have for puff pastry is making a pinwheel, which we already know that you're the pinwheel poncho. I don't know what to call you. Pinwheel poncho.
Aficionado, Mariela. I've said this like 6 times this week.
Okay. So you lay your puff pastry down. You will layer cheese, thinly sliced, more preferably, or you can do shredded as well. That would work. Something that, is pliable and rollable. You put the cheese down, you put the meat down, and you roll it into a log, right? And then you cut it into pinwheels. And then I like to make a mixture of grainy Dijon mustard, and a little bit of brown sugar, and a little bit of butter. I'd say maybe if you're asking me like gun to my head measurements, I'd say like a tablespoon of the grainy mustard, a tablespoon of the brown sugar, and a tablespoon of melted butter. Mix that all together. It makes kind of like a glaze, and you can brush it on top of the pinwheels and then bake them off. And it's the same things, but they have a completely different flavor profile. They're going to be crunchier because the pinwheels are thinner. And that glaze will kind of caramelize on top of the pinwheel.
So you cut the pinwheels.
Right.
You put the pinwheels like on your parchment paper on a baking dish. And then you glaze it. So you're not glazing the inside, you're glazing the top of the pinwheel.
Correct. Yes.
That sounds good.
And they get like crunchy and sweet and hammy and cheesy, and they're so yummy.
How long do you bake it for, you think?
I bake them for like 20, 25 minutes. Puff pastry is kind of like in that wheelhouse, 20, 25 minutes, no more than 30, depending on your oven. Yeah, at a high temperature. But generally, puff pastry will cook for that length of time at that temperature. Like
350, 400?
No, 400.
Okay.
400, at least 400, and it'll go for about 20 minutes, which is, I think, a reasonable amount of time for a freshly made lunch, Oh, yeah, absolutely. It's so good.
And it's Friday. Give them something special. Like you made it through the week, and here's like your
little pinwheel delight.
Right. Your little pinwheel delight, or your little ham and cheese turnover with your Dijon mustard.
It sounds freaking delicious. I want to try that bocadito thing.
All right. I'm going to tell you something.
Yeah.
I love Dijon mustard. I don't like it grainy.
Oh, I love grainy mustard in things like this.
Okay.
I love grainy mustard. Have you ever had like those funeral sandwiches or whatever they're called that there's King Hawaiian rolls, and then you stuff them and you put them in a baking dish, and then you put like Worcestershire sauce kind of glaze on top. Have you ever had this? And they're like sticky and sweet.
Never called it a funeral.
I think that's what they're called. I've
okay, whatever.
I think
aren't they called? No, they're called like brown derby something sandwiches. I don't, Maria, I hate eating foods that have the word funeral in it. Like, there's a really famous dish like funeral potatoes. Like, I am not hungry at a funeral. I'm just putting that out there.
But they're really called funeral sandwiches. They're hot ham and cheese sliders kind of with a glaze on top.
We
And they're
call them
yummy.
we
But
call
they're
them
called funeral sandwich. I don't know. It's
no,
not
we call
me. It's
something
not my
different
people.
here. We call them something different here.
No, Google calls it that, bro. Okay, listen. Google calls it.
Okay, bro. I'll say it. Listen. Okay.
Yes, Siri. Tell me more.
We don't call them that.
Oh, okay. Well, just so you know, that's what they're called on Google. Google is the number one search engine in the universe.
Okay, no. So here we call it Kentucky hot brown sliders.
Oh my God.
Okay. So I'm just saying.
I don't
It's
know.
not a
I don't know
funeral
if you remember.
sandwich.
Yes, it is. This is. You're wrong.
I'm not eating this as a funeral sandwich.
Okay, call it whatever the fuck you want. But you are going to eat it.
You're so spicy right now. I love it. What's that bocadito?
You know? Oh, bocadito. By the way, we're talking about this, and that's from our last episode.
Yeah.
Thursday. I'll try to remember to link it on here for you guys to listen to, because I swear to God, this is the most valuable content I think we've come up with. Well, I don't know. Yeah. Actually, that's not even true.
What I love about this episode is the fact that puff pastry could all be prepared days in advance and in your freezer. So what I love about it is you throw it in the oven, and as your kids are eating breakfast, as you're getting everybody ready, getting people's teeth brushed and whatever the hell kids have to do in the morning to get ready. And then it's cooking. It's great. And again, puff pastry holds up throughout the whole day. Puff pastry holds up for days.
It's so good.
At a time. Mm-hmm. And what I like about it is you can portion control it out.
Right.
So it's even versatile. A money saver if you think about it. Because if you have a child that does not eat a lot, you know, you're not putting an entire pinwheel, 5-6 piece pinwheels in their box. If you have a small child who's only eating a little bit, you could put 2, 3, 4 slices in there.
Or I just had an idea. You can get the sheet of puff pastry and make it all different kinds of ways and freeze it.
Yeah.
And then
like you could do like the pigs in a blanket. You can do the pinwheels. You could do the turnovers. And oh my gosh, Maddie, you can prep this shit on Sunday evening and put it in your freezer for different days of the week.
Yeah.
And then bake it off. Like I said, you get up in the morning as you're making your coffee, throw it in the oven, let it bake off. By the time you've got your kids ready, sitting and eating breakfast, your pinwheels or pig in the blankets, they're cooling and ready to go into their container before they go to school.
Man, this week has been freaking phenomenal.
It has been. And I hope that your children have a fabulous school year, Mariela, and they learn all the beautiful and wonderful things that they are meant to learn and continue their education. So I'm very excited for your kids and everybody else's kids out there, but specifically your kids, because I like your kids.
I like them too. And listen, they're already smart. I just want them to learn how to be this sounds so cheesy, but just like good people and how to act right. They will. And I hope Zoe finds her Eric. And then she will. 100%. She'll find her Eric one day. One day. It'll happen very soon, I'm sure. It will. So. All right, you guys, we hope you have enjoyed listening to this just as much as we've enjoyed making it for you. And don't forget to leave us a 5-star review in your podcast player, because these things matter. If you want your friends to find us, let them know we're here. Send them a link. Yeah. Y'all, absolutely. We're here for family. All right. That's right. So have a wonderful week. We love you, and we'll be back next week. Bye-bye.